What would you do if you won a sweepstakes? Would you throw a party, travel somewhere exotic, buy lots of presents for your loved ones? Well, in 1869, a sweepstakes winner was more likely to be cleaning up after the previous night's revelers than having a cause for celebration. You see, it was his job to sweep the streets. And unlike today's sanitation workers, street sweepers back then were typically employed by the local constabulary. They didn't have fancy equipment or even shoes. So let's spend a day in the life of an underpaid, overworked, ill-equipped London street sweeper during the height of the Industrial Revolution. It's 4 a.m., and John is already awake. It's not that he enjoys waking up this early, he just has no choice. As a street sweeper working for the London police, he's responsible for cleaning the streets in the worst parts of town. The job starts at 4:30 a.m. and goes until 8:30 at night. And while he might have some time off here and there, the hours are long and the pay is low. He makes about 16 shillings a week, which translates to about £200 or $250 today. With 5 children waiting for him to bring home some food money, he can't afford to take any time off. After waking up early, he throws on some old clothes and heads out the door without eating anything. It's not that breakfast isn't important to him. It's just that he simply can't afford to waste time making something when he needs to get to work so early. He walks past his wife and children sleeping in their one-room apartment and tries to be quiet so as not to wake them up. This is one of the few benefits of being a street sweeper. While his hours are terrible and his pay is worse, he gets to come and go as he pleases. If he wanted to, he could take extended breaks throughout the day, although he never does. With 5 kids depending on him, he doesn't dare. John arrives at his work area and checks over his supplies. As a street sweeper, he carries around a small shovel, a push broom, a hook, and a basket. He uses these tools to pick up and dispose of any trash left behind by careless citizens. Most of the trash he picks up is leftovers from last night's party: broken bottles, trampled flowers, and of course, horse dung. To help with the smell, he brings around a small bottle of vinegar, which also doubles as a cleaning agent. Today, his route begins on Whitechapel Road near the corner of Dorset Rise. It's one of the most disgusting parts of town, and he'll need his vinegar for this one. He begins sweeping the road, pushing the trash into piles for later disposal. The streets are still wet from the rain last night, so the garbage sticks to his worn boots. The people living in this part of town are poor, and the constant flooding has made the stench unbearable. Houses line both sides of the street, but none of the residents are awake yet. That's why he prefers to start his shift so early. If he tried to sweep the streets during the day, he'd probably get yelled at by irate shop owners trying to make an honest living. Instead, he takes advantage of the peace and quiet and focuses on his work. After a few minutes, he comes across a pile of debris blocking the road. Using his hook, he moves aside the wooden planks, revealing an even more disgusting sight underneath. Horse dung. Without hesitation, he grabs his shovel and quickly removes the manure. To avoid getting his hands dirty, he wears a set of old gloves, a luxury most of the other sweepers don't have. Once everything is cleared away, he moves on to the next pile, always keeping an eye out for broken glass. He stepped on his fair share of nails and doesn't want to risk losing a toe. An hour passes, and John finishes the first leg of his route. Now he needs to switch locations. He takes a moment to adjust his basket, which has become undone, and continues on his way. A group of men standing outside a pub notice him and shout obscenities before going back to their drink. One of them throws a coin at his feet, which he ignores. It's not that he's too proud to pick up the extra cash, it's just that someone has thrown a shilling at his head last week, and he's not in the mood to take any chances. On the bright side, it's almost time for his break. From 8 a.m. to noon, he works near Aldgate, a busy intersection known for its market. He clears out the many stalls that were set up overnight, avoiding the angry glares of the vendors. When he's done, he sweeps the nearby streets, focusing on removing any trash that would attract rats. The last thing the city needs is another outbreak of bubonic plague. As he makes his way down the street, he comes across a small group of women arguing over a cat that's stolen a fish. He ignores them and continues on his route until he reaches a patch of ground where several people are gathered. Peeking through the crowd, he sees a dog laying on the ground, foaming at the mouth. Someone has tied a noose around its neck and is slowly tightening it. Before John knows it, the dog stops moving. His heart sinks as he realizes what's happening. Unfortunately, animal cruelty was common in Victorian England, And this dog wasn't the only one to suffer. In fact, the average lifespan of a dog in London at the time was only 2 to 4 years. With a heavy heart, John returns to work. At noon, it's time for lunch. Usually he eats cold bread with some cheese or bacon, but sometimes he treats himself to an egg. But today, his wife packed him something special, a meat pie. He takes the pie out of his bag and eats it whole. When he's done, he throws the dish away and heads back to work. The rest of the afternoon is uneventful. He finishes his route, gathers all the trash in a central pile, and prepares to burn it. To keep the streets clean, it's important to get rid of the garbage as often as possible. Not only does it look unsightly, it also attracts rats. Rats carry diseases that can wipe out entire populations. And while Londoners thought they had beaten the bubonic plague, cases were beginning to rise again. By burning the refuse, John helps prevent another pandemic. By 4 p.m., everything is clean and he's finished for the day. He takes a moment to admire his work and pats a horse that's passing by. Some people are kind to him, giving him a few coins or a warm smile. Others just ignore him or yell obscenities. Either way, he doesn't mind. He knows what he's doing is important. Keeping the streets clean prevents disease and helps maintain order in the community. Now it's time to go home. Walking through the streets, he tries to avoid stepping on any trash, although it's nearly impossible. After a long day of sweeping, he can feel his feet bleeding from the stones and glass shards. He wishes he had a pair of shoes, but knows his wife can't afford them. For now, he'll just have to deal with the pain. When he arrives home, his wife and children rush to greet him. They ask how his day was and what he has for dinner. He tells them about the dog and they hug him tightly. Dinner is beans and bread, but John is too tired to complain. After filling everyone's bowls, he joins his family for their meal. The children tell jokes to keep everyone's spirits up, and John smiles. He may not have much, but he has his family. Once the bowls are empty, it's time for bed. John tucks his children in and reads them a story before they fall asleep. His wife joins him in the bed, and they talk quietly until they're ready to sleep. As John closes his eyes, he thinks about tomorrow. Another day of long hours and hard work awaits, but he wouldn't trade it for the world. He's just glad to be able to provide for his family. And that's the end of another exciting episode. Do you think you could be a street sweeper? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to stay tuned for more historical tales.